My mother-in-law uninvited me from the family trip last minute, so I booked a beach trip instead. My mother-in-law, Karen, told me I couldn't come on the family trip 3 hours before we were supposed to leave. I was in our kitchen loading snacks into a cooler, excited because Rick's family does this cabin week every summer and treats it like sacred time. I'd taken the whole week off work and bought new hiking boots, hoping this trip might finally help me bond with them. Karen walked in, stared at my suitcase by the door and said, "Sally, you're really planning to come with us?" I laughed. "Of course, I took the whole week off." She glanced at Rick, and he suddenly got very interested in his phone. Karen said, "This is a blood family trip, for actual family members." My stomach dropped. "I'm sorry, what?" She said, "Daughters-in-law aren't really family until they have children. That's just how we do things." I turned to Rick, waiting for him to shut it down. He wouldn't meet my eyes. He mumbled, "Mom's paying for the cabin, so it's kind of her call." Something in me went calm and sharp at the same time. I smiled and said, "You're absolutely right. I'll stay home. Have a great trip." Karen looked surprised, like she expected a fight. Then she said, "Good, we'll see you next week." So I helped them load the car anyway. I handed over the cooler, waved from the porch, and watched them drive off. Karen even gave me a smug little wave back. My hands were shaking, but I didn't let her see it. The second their car turned the corner, I called my friend Lisa. I said, "Remember how you wanted a girls' trip? How fast can you pack?" She heard the edge in my voice and said, "Give me an hour." I opened my laptop and booked 2 last-minute tickets to Maui. It cost me about $1,800 for the week, and I didn't care. I grabbed my passport, threw clothes into a bag, and left a note on the counter. "Not home, don't worry." Lisa picked me up, and a few hours later we were checking into a beachfront hotel, while Rick's family drove toward a cabin with spotty service. Day 1 was beach, food, and silence from Karen, which felt like a gift. Day 2, my phone started buzzing while I was in the middle of a massage. When I checked it after, I had 67 missed calls and a stack of messages from Karen. I called back because I thought someone got hurt. Karen answered screaming, "Where are you? Your husband's been trying to reach you." I said, "I'm in Hawaii at a spa. What's wrong?" She froze. "But you said you were staying home." I said, "I am home. My home, not yours." She snapped, "Rick's sick. Food poisoning. Someone needs to come get him." I sat up. "Get him? From upstate? That's a 6-hour drive." Karen said, "Yes, and you're his wife." I said, "Oh, I'm his wife now? This morning I was just a daughter-in-law who isn't family." Silence. Then she said, "This is different. We need you." I said, "Then you need someone who's family," and I hung up. Rick called right after, sounding miserable. "Sally, please," he said. "I'm really sick and everyone's mad at me for ruining the trip." I said, "That sounds awful. Can you come get me?" He asked. "Mom won't drive me back because she says we paid for the whole week." I said, "Rick, you let your mom uninvite me 3 hours before you left. You didn't say one word." He groaned. "I didn't want to cause drama." I said, "Well, now you're living in it. Ask your real family. They're the ones who wanted you there." His voice got tight. "That's not fair." I said, "What wasn't fair was standing in that kitchen and realizing I was alone." Then I ended the call and put my phone on silent. By day 4, Amy texted, "Can you please just come get him? He won't stop complaining and it's ruining everything." I replied, "Not family, remember?" 2 days later, they cut the trip short and came home. That night, Karen showed up at our door with her arms crossed. She said, "We need to talk." I said, "About what?" She pointed at me. "You abandoned your husband when he needed you." I kept my voice even. "I wasn't invited to be there. You made that very clear." Karen opened her mouth, closed it, then said, "I didn't mean it like that." I said, "You said it out loud in my kitchen, and Rick agreed with you." Rick stood behind me, pale and quiet, and for once, he looked embarrassed. I said, "So I followed your rules. Daughters-in-law aren't family." Karen's face went red. She looked at Rick like she wanted him to rescue her, but he didn't move. She swallowed hard, spun around, and walked back down the steps without another word. "Now they're calling me selfish for booking Hawaii. Was I wrong?"